to the show.
So for those of us who don't know who you are you?
My name is Rome. Like, you can find me like anywhere by Anthony Rome. But I'm an artist, musician, designer, and that's pretty much what I do.
You said Rome?
Yeah.
No.
Like the city.
That's what I say when people ask me your name too. I'm like, Rome. They're like, Rome? Yeah, like the city. They're like, oh, okay. Oh, you want me to go?
I was thinking it was short for something. That's what I was saying. Like, Rome. Okay.
It's like,
I wasn't thinking about that.
You gonna finish?
Okay, I'm Tanner, or Tanner June. I go by that as my art name. But I'm an artist. I paint and make clothing.
Yeah, I actually didn't meet Tanner until recently. So I've known Rome for like a few years now, right?
yeah. How did we meet
Through
actually?
Kedra in Jakar.
Okay, yeah.
Because back when...
Wow,
so
we just saw them yesterday.
That was the baby shower.
Oh, really?
Jakar's having a
Jakar's
baby.
baby shower.
Mm-hmm.
No idea. But, so back when I was still dabbling in like rap, he had told me that you were serious about it and you were somebody I should link up with.
Yeah.
And they introduced us.
Yeah.
I ended up not following the rap stuff, but we were still cool.
Yeah.
And then I met Tanner at an art show, so I just happened to be going through those because you remember Matt that was here? I'm gonna go see Matt's work at the show. They were there. I didn't know you were actually performing, so I ran into you, and then I actually bought one of her paintings, which is this right here. This lovely masterpiece. So you can check her out, copy yourself some work. But yeah, so that's how I met them. And Josh, we've been doing this podcast for I don't know how many months, but since we started posting episodes back in September of last year.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so glad to have you guys on.
No, I'm glad to be here, man.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, and this fruit bowl you made for everybody listening. This fruit bowl is actually incredible. You said
Yeah, I was not expecting this, so
It's-
I'm really happy.
kiwis and strawberries and like homemade tea. Like this dude knows what he's doing.
Right?
Yeah.
Pull up.
But welcome back to the Infusion Breakdown Show. It's your boy Joshua Freeman. To my left, I got Mr. Brian Carey. Of course, we got special guests Tanner and Rome. Today, the first question I want to get into is basically the FaceApp discussion. I know you guys heard about that. Everything. I know you guys were trying to become old and everything like that. There's implications to it. But the app's headquarters is in St. Petersburg, Russia. The app's private policy grants access to photos and photo uploads of friends and family, regardless of whether they agree to the terms of use, anything like that too. And the app's terms of service grants the company license to use the people's photos, names, and likenesses, however they want, basically. So I want to ask you guys, why don't people pay more attention to the terms and conditions you guys think?
Well, first,
Why would they?
you're guilty because I saw you post a picture.
Oh, yeah.
He did.
I didn't see you do it.
He
but I
posted
saw
a picture.
You,
Oh, I
Story.
sabotaged her. Like, I included her picture in it. So they
you did put her on it, yeah.
Yeah, they got her information by default.
Right, I didn't even get to accept the terms and conditions because he put me on there.
Because of Rome. So, were you aware of any of this prior to, or you just got the app because you thought it was cool?
So when I saw it, I was like, yo, this right here looks funny. So I was like, I just want to see what I look like, you know what I mean? And so the first one I took, I didn't like it because it gave me a receding hairline. And I was like, oh hell no, I'm not going out like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
So then I
funny.
took the second one. The second one I took was one that she was in, and
Yeah.
like I had a hat on, so like they didn't give me a receding hairline, so I just looked kind of old in that one. I fuck with that one more.
I wonder what the algorithm is like and how do they determine who gets a receding hairline and who doesn't?
I don't like
But
that
he
they
didn't want the
chose
whole
me.
truth.
But I don't like that I got picked up. Nah, I didn't
Did
want
it
that.
give you the receding hairline still with the dreads?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Like
Oh, no.
my hair was gray. Like
Yeah, they're not gonna
like-
change your hairstyle. They're gonna give
alright.
you the same hairstyle.
I'll show it to
Well,
you
the
right
app,
now.
the FaceApp, you can change your hairstyle.
Oh, you can?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
can.
I thought
You know-
Oh yeah, you can add
do a
hair
multitude
onto
They
it.
gave me
Oh, man.
they gave me glasses. I wasn't even wearing glasses in
Right.
the picture. They
Oh
put
no,
glasses
I
on.
added glasses onto you. I thought it
like-
looked
I
funny.
guess he gave me glasses. I
Like,
thought the app did it.
If you go to the Play Store, well, you're an iPhone person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
Yeah, you see, my hairline looks serious. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
They pushed that thing back.
Look at it. Look, I got Drake's dad's mustache.
Yeah. Oh, and the nose too, because like
Yeah.
the angle.
Yeah.
They super they exaggerate your features right here and look at that fat ass mustache on you.
That's what happens to old people because your nose and stuff doesn't stop growing, and your ears too. That's why old people have big.
I've
ears.
heard that. I kinda-
Or your nose doesn't stop
Your
growing.
nose never stops growing, and your ears never stop growing. That's why old people got big, droopy noses and big ears.
I want to have a big ass nose. Man. I want everything to be proportionate. I don't want motherfucker to look at me like, yo, you know Rome? You know the nigga with the nose? Like,
well, by then you'll be old enough to where all your friends fit that description too.
Right.
So they'll still have to be more descriptive.
yeah, but then at that point, you just like the grandpa or the uncle with the nose. So like all your friends are like equally as like disproportionate as you.
Yeah.
But all the younger people who still got like their life ahead of them looking at you like, damn, like that's what I got to
You
look
don't want to
forward
be
to.
Uncle Nose?
Yeah.
Nah, I
mean,
don't want to
'cause-
be Uncle Nose at all. Like nothing like that.
Do y'all make funny, like, not in a mean way, but you poke fun at your grandparents, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, that's gonna be us one day.
Yeah, my grandma always tells my grandpa that he has chicken legs because he's like has a big belly,
Yeah.
but his legs are skinny, and she's always like, "Your grandpa has chicken legs," and then my grandpa will be like making fun of my grandma and everything like that.
I feel like as you get older, it's important not to take yourself so serious because people will joke on you, especially your grandkids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially like your own kids too. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we joke on my parents like all the time,
Yeah.
but also I think it depends on how your family is. You know what I mean? Because like my family goes like hard. Like they'll joke on you. Like you know what I mean? Like he knows.
Yeah. Like her family's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Same with my family though. Like you
Yeah.
can't really like be around my peoples if you can't like take a joke.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like we were talking the other day, especially like my mom, like she's really funny, but like she's the type of person that she's gonna make the joke like whether or not you can take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if
You
it's
gonna
gonna
get your
hurt,
feelings
right?
hurt.
If your feelings are gonna be hurt, she's still gonna say it because it's still gonna be funny to everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We were
your
talking
mom
about
makes
that the other
jokes for like her mom makes jokes for her enjoyment.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter if you're a victim of the process.
Those are
like-
the best ones though.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
She's hilarious. Like she's so funny. But people who can't take a joke, it's not good.
But as far as like you wanted to discuss why don't people read the terms and conditions. So as I was looking into how draconian and intense the FaceApp like terms and agreements were, I compared it to Snapchat because that's the app that we use, and I didn't want to be hypocritical. So I was like, maybe do they have some terms and conditions? So I wrote an excerpt from the FaceApp terms and conditions. Is you grant FaceApp a perpetual, irrevocable, non-exclusive, royalty-free, worldwide, fully paid, transferable, sub-licensable license to use, reproduce, modify, adapt, publish, translate, create derivative works from, distribute, publicly perform, and display your user content in any name, username, or likeness provided in connection with your user content in all media formats known now or later developed without compensation to you.
I don't know what the hell sub-licensable license is.
They own it. They own everything. So, and they can give it to other people.
That's
but
a
they
lot.
said in a follow-up interview, they had dispelled some rumors that they weren't going to disclose it to like third parties. And I didn't get the chance to look at that thoroughly. But then in comparison to Snapchat, they said any content you create on their app is owned by you. But if it's released to the public, so you know how you can upload to a public story. So like if somebody clicks on Virginia or like Norfolk, they could see what's going on there. That's public access. They can use that for promotional material and stuff. But Snapchat, they did emphasize the point that you own the content. So I noticed that was a really, really prominent difference. And then also the location of it kind of suspect too.
Snapchat like made me feel really weird when they started doing the snap, the map.
Oh,
on
the
there,
little grid
where
with
you
like
can
where
like
you
see
at.
everybody. I would
Yeah.
always be so paranoid that I accidentally had turned my location on there because I don't want everybody to see
That's how people get green lighted.
where I'm at.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
What you mean green light?
that's like you on Snapchat like flexing with like, a whole bunch of money.
Oh yeah.
You know, like you like on Snapchat like with the new Gucci shoes, whatever.
Right. If you
And
have a
then, like,
location,
We're gonna pull
on
up
it.
on you.
Right.
Yeah, because like hey, I got the locations. He green, let's go. So
But when I was speaking about the location, I was thinking more so along the lines of the location of Wireless Lab, which is a company who owns FaceApp. And like he said, they're based out of St. Peters, right?
In St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg, thank you.
Russia.
But yeah, so in that has a lot of implications within itself because there's a lot of things in terms of like what happened with the last election. They tried to say that the investigation about the Russian interference, and they're thinking that they're an adversary to the United States. So they have some kind of interest. So they were trying to see how closely the app was related to, or how could our information be accessed and given to the wrong people.
Are you worried?
am I worried?
Yeah. Or are you worried about your information?
No, I mean like I feel like anything that the government would need from anybody, they already have access to, like, and they could get access to, unless you're like completely off the grid or something like that.
The
like,
U.S. government.
Yeah, I mean like our government, but even another government,
foreign
like a foreign government that's like if a foreign government really wanted something from you or me or you, like I feel like all they would need to do is just like make a phone call get somebody that like they know over here, you know, do whatever type of trade or, you know, they need to do to get the information, and they'll get it. Like, I don't think it's like anything that's like going to be like against something that's like already not being done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure these metadata trades are already happening. You know what I mean?
If they want to reach it, they can reach it.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point.
Like, if somebody wanted your email and your contact information, like, it's just a matter of like contacting like the right person, or like, you know, like paying for that information or trading like their information with.
Like, talking about illegally.
I mean,
I feel like you're talking about in a legal way, because this way is legal because you're actually agreeing to it. Yeah, you're agreeing to it. So you're like, okay, you give it to me. I didn't do anything wrong, Judge. He gave me all the information. But if you're talking about calling somebody up and just illegally hacking or something like that, it's different.
What I think is the scariest part is like not the fact that they just have the information, because like I said, like before when we were talking about it for a second, like when I first heard about it, or when people were first asking me, do you have a problem with them having your photos, or them having this, or them having that, or whatever, like I don't, like at first thought, I don't care if they have my photo that I took on their app, you know what I mean, because what do I care what they're gonna do with it. But then we were looking at earlier today deep fakes, like the videos and stuff that they can make of people, like
the Jordan Peele one was really good.
The
Obama one with Jordan Peele, like that one right there was like,
that's what's scary to me, is that people can go and like falsify like something, saying that you're making something, or saying that you're saying something, which is really scary, especially like in politics and things like that. Like, imagine if somebody came out with a video of Trump saying, like, I mean, he does say wild shit, but saying like some extra wild shit, you know what I mean, like some crazy off the wall shit, or
you
some
totally shift the
there
could be some serious
right, and nobody's gonna look into, is this video fake or real? Most of the people aren't going to. You're just gonna see it and like react.
Especially with somebody like Trump, like you just assume it's real.
Yeah,
exactly, which is like really scary. It can really like start stuff.
The funny thing about the Obama videos, when I first saw it, I could tell that it was clearly fake. Like, you could tell that certain things weren't right, like the mouth movement, but it did look really realistic. And then I was laying down watching it again, and then it looked more realistic. So when I first saw it, it looked realistic, but you could tell that minute things were wrong with the mouth movements, and like it didn't match. It's kind of like when you're watching those translated movies from Japan. It was kind of like that. But then as I was laying down, I watched it again. I was like, this could really be scary, because if somebody just looks at it and just takes it at face value and not really observing, you can actually interpret it as being authentic and real. Like, he really said that. And then Jordan Peele, that wasn't even Obama. He does an impression of him, which was pretty accurate. Like, I love the Luther skits on Key and Peele with the anger interpreter.
Yeah.
Because Jordan Peele's voice when he's acting as Obama, he sounds just like him. So that's how easy it was for them to replicate that, just by taking a few videos and using the software to use. I think it was created actually using FaceApp, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure they said they created that video using FaceApp.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
But we saw some other ones too. We saw one of I can't remember her name, but the actress who always plays Hillary Clinton on SNL. They made like a skit that she did into like a fake video of Hillary Clinton, because they put Hillary Clinton's face like actually on her. Yeah. Which is like nuts. I don't know that they can do that type of stuff with politicians and things like that, and just famous people in general, or people who have influence over other people. It's scary.
Yeah, you bring up a very interesting point about like the stakes are lower when it's people like us. But as you start to use images and create videos of more influential people, like you said, like politicians and celebrities, then the consequences are more serious. Like, you can get me saying something to make me look like an ass and embarrass me to people around me, but I don't have the same sway as, per se, a world leader or Kanye West or Will Smith or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Crazy. And everybody was doing it too. Like, I saw sports teams,
Kevin Hart,
everybody,
LeBron James.
Exactly.
I was reading something too about the like the biometric side of it, like your information, your fingerprints, and your identification, things like that. That like police departments can like access that like whenever they feel like, which is like
whenever
crazy. Like, I don't know. That's weird to me, because like a lot of the time, like if you get pulled over or whatever and you're not in the criminal system, if they look up your name, they're not going to find anything, you know what I mean? But then if they have access to information of everybody who's not in the system, like what power does that give them to do whatever they feel like with that information? You know?
But, so I looked at I didn't download the app myself, FaceApp, but I was looking at the terms and conditions and also what it had access to. So access and permissions was separate thing I had to click into. And I believe they had access to your gallery and what was it? They could view your network connections as well as they can prevent your phone from sleeping. So I was thinking, like, what utility does that serve for the FaceApp?
Yeah.
Prevent your phone from sleeping.
Yeah, prevent your phone from sleeping. Like, I was thinking possibly along the lines of like updates. I didn't get a chance to see if other apps did that as well, but it's just my immediate thoughts were like listening and like recording things like that.
That's
because if you can't turn the
scary.
phone off
Right.
or put it in sleep mode per se, then it's always active.
Yeah.
And that's similar to, so you remember Jay was here a few weeks ago, so we had a big discussion about Alexa. So a lot of people have Alexa in their homes, and they say, "Hey Alexa, this, play such and such, or look up Grandma's sweet potato pie recipe."
Mm-hmm.
But when they're doing that, so they don't realize that Alexa is always quote unquote listening.
She has to be ready.
Yeah,
for
it's
you
just
to
it's
say
just a
Alexa.
command. Is the fact that it triggers it, so it's constantly listening. So if somebody was able to access that stream of audio, they could potentially be listening to you at all times.
Yeah. I also saw that it stores. I was like looking at something like with the whole Alexa thing, and it stores like the audio as well, like onto a server.
Mm-hmm.
So like and they say that they only store it onto the server, so that way if it's like if you ask like something in a different way, like, hey, like, can you set an alarm? Hey, tomorrow I need to wake up at 6 o'clock. Like, if you say the same thing in a different way, like, you get a quicker response. Like, Alexa knows how to respond to.
So she like learns about you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they
it's
say,
AI.
yeah. So they say that's why they do it. But it's also just kind of like the fact that it's storing like all these requests and like you said, if it's always listening, the fact
It's
that
all your voice clips. If they want to make a recording of you saying something that you never said, they can easily
Exactly.
make the.
Yeah.
You guys own Alexa?
My
No, I don't.
Parents
Josh, you got
do.
Alexa?
No, I don't have Alexa.
Her family does.
Yeah, my parents have
I
it
was
at
about to
their
say,
house.
you don't have to take his phone and throw it out. Listen to us right now. But
Yeah, my parents have it, which is, I don't know. It's helpful, I guess, but it's like, it's weird. Sometimes you'll be talking and not even say nothing to her, and she thinks, thinks that you say Alexa, and then she'll just like start talking. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But if this app does end up impacting American privacy in some way, like in a negative way, do you guys think it will cause more people to actually pay attention to the terms and conditions? Like, you think people will actually start reading a little bit more?
No.
Hell no.
I doubt it. The damage is done. 'Cause
Yeah, it's laziness.
you can get on Facebook and access people's pictures and stuff.
Yeah, like Facebook
you
just got
remember
violated for that.
The Britannica situation
No.
where
Oh, what?
like it was I think year before, where like a bunch of several millions of users' data was compromised.
Mm-hmm.
I think I heard
Britannica Analytica. I want to make sure.
I don't
got
remember
that
the
right.
name, but I remember
Yeah.
hearing about that happening though. The
Oh,
scam?
excuse me. It's Cambridge Analytica, and it was a British political consulting firm. And they were obtaining the Facebook users' data. Not British Analytica. I was saying it wrong, but Cambridge Analytica.
But yeah, they're not going to start looking at it or anything like that. Even for anything in the future, like even apps they come across, like, oh, this is good. Wait, let me actually read this.
I don't think so. Because think about it. When you get your phone or when you sign into iTunes, like when iTunes used to be like more prevalent than like Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, like you would never read that. It's like the longest shit ever, and it's like all this super technical language too. Think about who can even understand what they're saying. You know,
It's
what I mean?
legal
Like,
speak.
Yeah.
It's something that an ordinary person, like, you can get the gist of it, but for the most part, the words they select, they're so inclusive. Like, for example, the excerpt that I read from the FaceApp terms and agreement, they use words in such a way that they cover all their bases. Kind of like earlier when you were talking about the do-rags. Like, what were some of the words, the synonyms for do-rags? You use it for Amazon?
Yeah, so when you look up do-rags on Amazon, like a lot of times, like they'll just like a whole bunch of words together. So when I looked up do-rags, it said do-rag, ethnic, chemo, beanie, turban, Muslim,
Pirate.
cat, yeah.
The pirate one really got me because what pirate is on Amazon? Like, pirate cap. Like, I need to find a new hat. Like,
You ever seen Dodgeball?
The movie?
The pirate guy?
Nah.
Oh, man, you gotta watch the movie then. There's a guy in there who thinks he's a pirate, and towards the end they convince him that he's not a pirate, and he actually cleans his act up.
That's so
He's just
weird.
one character on there, yeah.
It sounds like
He
a
actually
Family
had
Guy
do-rag.
skit.
Hmm?
Sounds like a Family Guy skit.
Well, they had a pirate on there too.
You said he
The
did have a
Stumpy.
do-rag?
Yeah, he had like this headscarf.
I guess that's maybe why they do it. I don't know.
Because I seen it in Dodgeball and put this in every search.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, just wanted to ask everybody that But what do you guys think though about the FaceApp discussion? Did you guys do it? You guys are worried about your privacy? Let us know, okay? But the second question I want to get into is, in what ways would the world be different if there was no feelings, basically? Yeah. So, what do you guys think though?
We were talking about that.
There would be no art, which is what we do.
Yeah.
So like that would suck. I
It
don't
would be
know.
bland, yeah.
Yeah, I was telling him like it would be like if the whole world was just in like black and white. It would be so bland. If you didn't have any feelings, you wouldn't want to create, or you wouldn't respond to anything that was created, and you wouldn't be able to form any kind of relationship with other people through anything. You know, relationships would just be like for usefulness, basically. You know, like certain animals that don't form emotional connections. You know, we'd just be like living, basically.
Yeah, there'll be like no friendships. There'll be like no subcultures. Like how there's like people who love like the Lakers. You know what I mean? Or people who love like Marvel, you know what I mean? Like because or the Yankees, because they feel like they're a part of something bigger. Like you don't need that if you didn't have feelings.
So about the question, when the question says no feelings, do you mean no feelings as in everyone
Like,
is void of any emotion?
That's what I took it as.
Whatsoever, or
That's the question I posed, was void of emotion.
okay, because it was either that or people just didn't care about each other. Because you cannot care about someone and not have any feelings toward them. You know,
That's how
what I
you
mean?
interpret it, isn't it?
Well, I was like either or. I was
Okay,
like,
so I was
like, which one did you mean, basically?
Because I was thinking
But
about the implications of without emotions. So I thought about what are emotions, and the way I thought of it to be is like an internal compass that allows us to navigate and also coexist with other beings in a social world. So, without emotions, for example, you touched on a great point. The fact that like relationships, like they'll be restructured, they'll be done as a more advantageous way.
Right.
So kind of like strategic alignments and what's the most logical thing. But then I thought about this too. Just because it's devoid of emotion, the world, it doesn't always equate a logical world either. Because you think about in a logical world, let's say if someone's sick and they require more resources, it could be a logical conclusion just to let that person die. It's not necessarily the right thing, but according to logic, that could be done. So that's the kind of world we could live in. And so I thought about without emotion, we would be more akin to, I guess, an ant colony.
Right,
Because-
you just work.
Yeah, the ants. There's 4 kinds of ants. You have the queen. You have the drones. You have the drones. They're just reproductive males. That's all they do. You don't see them outside the nest. Then you have the workers, which are the females you see out in the common. And there's one called alots. I had to look down for a second. I wrote that down because I know I was gonna forget. But alots, ALATES, and those are the ones that they start in other colonies. The ones that they're winged ants. So you have those 4 ones. They have their own specific roles, and that's all they will ever do. Like a queen ant, she'll never go out and forage for food and get it. She's always just gonna be popping up babies and eggs. That's all she's gonna do. And then she has that strict function. And you think about ants, they have a hive mentality.
Yeah.
Their overall purpose is to thrive, survive, and reproduce, and I guess preserve the longevity of the queen. They don't have any individual agenda. They're just looking for efficiency and achieving that goal. So humans would be more akin to that.
It'd be weird because it's like when you think about what makes humans human and like separate from other animals, it's like emotion and the ability to think critically and like develop things, you know what I mean? So if you took emotion out of that, what motivation would you have to create anything or to develop anything or to like push forward a society, you know what I mean? Even like technologically, like how we were talking about technology and, you know, how that's developed, like why would you even have the motivation to do that if you don't have the feeling of wanting money or if you don't have the feeling of wanting to reach other people or
If you're
whatever?
just content.
Yeah, right.
Like what would be the hive mindset of the human race if like there was like no feelings? Like what would unite everybody to accomplish blank goal, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's a
Without
good
like
question.
feeling.
I didn't think about what the exact goal would be, but did any of you read Brave New World in high school for like AP English?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about it was a lot of parallels from that book that I was able to draw from, I guess, a world that was anti-emotion. Because so that was it's a great book that came out, I think 1932, and so the parallels I was able to draw from it was there was a complete repression of art, science, and freedom. So the main 2 things I drew from that were the repression of art and freedom. You touched on that. And then also there were these things called decanters, and they replaced human wombs because natural births were outlawed. So all births were carried in these test tubes, right?
We were talking about that when we were talking about this earlier.
Really?
Yeah, he mentioned that. He was like, why would people even like reproduce naturally?
Exactly.
He was like, they'd probably just find a way to do it without having to do that.
Exactly. So what they did by that was they were essentially doing like CRISPR with the designer babies. They were doing that in this future because I think the book took place in like 2500 something. So it was like way in the future.
Designer baby sounds pretty dope. Like Louis Vuitton.
It's so annoying.
Gucci baby.
It just comes out with like the Louis Vuitton print all over.
Yeah. Supreme.
Right across the forehead, Supreme.
Yeah, so it was what that did in my mind, the way I was going back and looking at it was it eliminated the emotional connection because when babies are born and the mother's nurturing, you establish a connection. And in that culture, like people are very loose. The relationships are very loose. Like they promote promiscuity, and they have another thing was they were taking this drug called Soma, and it lulled the people of the lower classes because they had like 5 different classes you were pre-programmed to be in, and like that drug was able to lull the people in the lower groups so that they're always happy and content. And although that's an emotion, but just think about the fact that you're content. You aren't thinking about what can you do to change your situation or what else could you do.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about this would be better if, this would be better if.
It takes away the drive to like improve things or improve yourself or anything.
So that's the closest example I was able to find that was already existing in like literature. Because as soon as I thought about like the absence of emotion and just being a drone, I immediately drew the analogy to that book.
Like a drugged out utopia.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's crazy though is that there are people who don't have any emotions, like sociopaths. Like they don't feel anything, which is like crazy. Like I was watching, you know the show Dexter on Netflix. I was rewatching it, and the main character is a sociopath basically. Like he doesn't have any emotional connection to anybody. Like, which is crazy that there are actually people who live like that. Like I don't know, it's really scary. I can't think about having to live like that.
I feel like you were just trying to compare humans to ants because first of all, I agree with everything you said about I believe society will basically shut down essentially without emotion, because I feel you're comparing us to ants, where ants still have that instinct to work and everything like that, where without our emotion we won't I feel like we will just shut down immediately. We won't even work, like, because we won't have any reason to work, you know what I mean? I feel like so what would be the reason to work if you don't have any emotion?
Okay, so I don't work because, for example, if you were to take money at the equation, most people wouldn't work just because it makes them happy. They would find things like recreation, and they would sit around playing video games too. Yeah, so with the removal of, so what was the first point you said about? You said you disagree about them not being similar to ants because of the goal.
Because of them and their instincts, and what I was saying, we wouldn't even work at all because we wouldn't have any desire to achieve anything because we don't have any emotion. Like we won't have any ambition. We have a reason to get out of bed basically because we have an emotion. We're just like what Timmy Turner and Fairly Odd Parents said when he didn't. He's like, I don't have any emotions. I don't feel. You just like, I don't feel. Like, oh, how do you feel, Timmy? I don't feel. You won't do anything.
I want to make sure that I was addressing that properly. So I don't believe that at all because I think we would shift to the same Hive mentality, which is the sustainment of the human race. So we would just look at it as like a logical thing. So anything that didn't pertain to that goal, completely eliminated, and we would think about that.
I highly doubt that.
Why is that? Why?
I feel like you're saying what's rooted into us is sustaining the human race.
No, if we were here, we're already existing, and as organisms, we're trying to survive. That's part of our condition.
I think that's what he means by sustaining the human race. Just survival, not like sustaining like society, but
but if you have an emotion, I feel like he's still thinking about everybody as a whole, except for just himself. It's sustaining the human race, as in surviving myself, not just sustaining.
That's what I think.
Everyone
surviving yourself.
Yes,
you're very separate from other people.
I feel he's talking about everyone as a whole. Like we'll still sustain everyone as a whole. I'm like, no, because everybody's already out to survive.
Because think
what
about
would keep everybody wanting to sustain other people.
Well, yes, with emotions, that's why we draw a closer connection with people. So without that Hive mentality, let's say you're my 4 closest people. You're in my unit or my family, per se, for this example.
Yeah.
And it's in my best interest because you're the people I care about and love the most.
Because we would help you
Exactly.
Okay.
But if you eliminate that, then it's more logical. So who can, I guess, help me find a way to find the most food, or who can help me produce the most numbers in my business?
Like when societies were first starting, or when like an elevated society was first starting, you know what I mean? When people weren't like hunting and gathering by themselves, but like people split off and had different jobs, like those farmers and those people who made clothes and those people who did this, people who did that, whatever. Like, so what you're saying is that people would be drawn to work with other people because they could use them, basically.
Because they
to,
could survive.
To survive better.
Yeah. Out of it's a
Just
combination.
But I still feel that's part of having an emotion. That's part of having that ambition, that selfishness. That's still the type of emotion.
I don't think it's an emotion.
I think it's
a
logic.
Fact. Yeah, it's a logic because you can do
it's
better.
like a pack.
Exactly. So that's why wolves hunt in packs, for example. So we talked about
It's
it
not
with
because
KJ
they
last
love each
week.
other.
If you put us out in the wild, if you put, I hate to use this as an example, but you're the physically smallest one of us. So you put Tanner out in the wild, right? And she has to survive by herself. Or you put us three out there, and we have like us three, so you can stay and watch while I go fish. You can look for berries or something like that, and she's out here trying to like get tree bark to eat. But like, come on now, it's three of us, and we have more human resource. We could span out and actually find more capital and other resources for us to survive. Whereas she's at a disadvantage because she's just one person.
Okay.
Isn't that a more logical choice to join a group?
Yeah, you could like build like a shelter with like more people.
Yeah.
Even if it's not emotional, there's definitely been movies where there's been people in survival situations and they emotionally don't like each other. You know what I mean?
I still feel you based
but it's in their best interest.
Right.
Click up.
I still feel you based off of instinct, though. It still be like our instinct to, like, because you said a pack of wolves. That's part of who they are. That's in their instinct.
Do you not want to survive?
If I have no emotion, I have no reason to survive. If I have
That's
no
part
emotion,
of
I have no reason. If I have no emotion, I have no reason to survive.
But as an animal, we have a survival instinct, though.
We do.
Even animals that don't have emotions. Like, I personally don't think, like, fish have emotions, but, like, they want to survive.
Yeah,
So I struggle with that, too, because emotions, they're reactions to, I guess, our outside conditions, and they can either be like, or you be agitated. So I do believe animals, like dogs, for example, they definitely have emotions. Dogs have emotions. Chimps have emotions. But the example I use with ants, they do have emotions if you want to use that definition, because you can piss off a colony of ants.
Right.
But that's more of an instinct thing. I believe they experience emotions on a very different way than humans do.
But
like
do they get
survival the
pissed
same
off
way.
because you hurt their feeling?
No.
Like their feelings, or do they get pissed off
You're a
because
threat to the
you're a
colony.
threat?
Right.
Exactly.
It's logically based feelings.
Exactly. So I feel like in 2019, like we wouldn't like unite like off of like an emotion to feel like unified. If we didn't have feelings, we would unite like because the world's like dying, like Earth's dying like right now. So we would probably unite in order to find like a common cause, like to like move on to the next like planet.
Because that supersedes your own personal agenda.
Yeah, it's like this right here is
have
like
an instinct
surviving.
to help your species survive.
Yeah.
Like as just an animal.
Like in order for
or
us to
something.
continue reproducing, we have to like find a way to like.
That's why evolution happened, because animals like needed to survive. You know what I mean? So they like branched out into different areas of the world and stuff, and evolved so that they could propel their species to live.
And your argument against, I guess, survival without emotions, and you just don't want to live anymore. You don't do anything. You just without emotions, you would just cease to move. You just drop into like a gelatinous pool of like bones and flesh. Right?
First of all, your whole experience.
That's exactly what you're saying. So, as soon as your emotions left, you would just collapse.
Like,
that's what you're saying.
Like it's Infinity War.
Thanos. Look, that was logical though, wasn't it?
But I don't think the brain is like run on emotion. You know what I mean? I don't think
not
like,
entirely.
I don't think.
I
your
think it's
consciousness is run
inseparable of
based
the
on
human
emotion.
condition.
What
Like
was that?
I think emotions are inseparable with the human condition. Like the way we function are comprised of equal parts of feeling and logic.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't always exhibit that, but they do have that capacity. But what you were saying about the survival, so even I guess animals. So for example, sheep they have had instances where sheep would jump off the cliffs, and they were committing suicide because one after the other they would do that. So even suicidal behavior in other animals, it's an abnormality. By default, they want to survive. So, for example, there's a fungus or a parasite that's able to act as its host is an ant. So the ant will be infected with it, and that parasite inside of it sends it a signal inside of its brain for it to climb on top of a piece of grass, and it'll wait there for the cow or whatever animal to eat that, and then the parasite can continue its life cycle. Right?
That's crazy.
That's an abnormality. By default, that ant is there to survive and thrive and proliferate the colony. That's a deviation from its norm.
Okay.
That was a good point.
We're here to survive.
Okay.
I mean, do you still disagree with me?
Yes.
I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah. As far as the other point I was making is like if a person doesn't care about you, I feel they have any feelings towards you too. As far as the other side of the question, I thought you was referring to. I feel society would still function that way, but people would just do everything out of pure selfishness. Like even something like marriages, like it's basically.
Do you think that there still would be marriage?
I don't think there would. be
Yeah, I think it'd still be marriage because people get married now due to selfishness. Like people in the military get married because they can get more money. So if people have the same agenda, they'll still be able to work it out. But you basically like how you was talking about. But if people have the same agenda, they'll still work out. They'll still be able to get it together, basically.
Well, we still have the same financial system though if we didn't have.
Probably not. Definitely things would be
It would
different.
be a complete overhaul.
Yeah.
We can't. We don't have Sims running right now.
You said what?
So we don't have Sims running right now. But that's the interesting point too. So I was thinking about how would that affect relationships, and I still think that the norm would be to have a monogamous relationship because, like, the norm, I guess,
Like
it's most
you mean?
like completely monogamous, like you guys. For example, it's more stable. For example, for a child to be brought up, like you can raise a child. Like there's lots of people with single parents. Not saying you can't do that. You always have to add disclaimers like that, but it's typically stable. So you have both role models. You can see like the interaction between two, and you have, like I say, you can observe those things and you can learn a lot from it. It's an oversimplification of what I'm saying, but just the sole fact that you have both of those in your life and you have this more stable family unit. I believe that's what we would go to if we were just acting purely off logic. Because if you could be this promiscuous, the child wouldn't do well because you wouldn't be worried about the child's well-being.
Well, you wouldn't want to be promiscuous because you wouldn't have the feeling to pursue other people.
Well, I was looking at the alternative.
I think I disagree. I think that people would just have babies. Like, I think that because that's, if you think about animal instinct, you know.
But who would be in charge of, like, raising and take care of the
Think
babies?
about
Because you have to act logically.
But if there wasn't any feelings, then there wouldn't be, like, like you wouldn't have to worry about the emotional toll on the child of only having one parent or of having a parent who has babies with multiple people.
But is it efficient though? Because when one parent's at work, who's going to take care of it? But then you also said the colony thing. So if it's using the example of the ant colony that I was using,
even more
then
like
it's somebody's job to just take care of the kids.
Yeah,
but like if you think about like a pride, like a lion colony or something like that. Like I don't know if it's called a lion colony.
That's a pride.
It's called a pride.
Yeah.
We just saw Lion King. You
Hey, look. Hey now. Hey, so
were you the one that was asleep?
Nah. Hey. Don't you'll slump ass. So like I feel like in a pride, like you have like the cubs, but like the cubs aren't just like nurtured by like their own, like,
right? It's
everybody, you know. So like the males can go out and do whatever the males want to do, and like the cubs are like nurtured by like the females.
It's like when you have a baby, it's like the whole community's baby.
Like
to
the
take care
same
of
it takes a
it
village
takes
to raise a child.
Yeah.
You know, actually
like
based off that, you changed my opinion. Because it would be more advantageous to the survival of the human race if the highest quality males and the highest quality females got together. And of course, you would leave a lot of like the rest of the species out of the equation, and eventually they would die.
That's natural selection.
Because exactly.
But people wouldn't want to mate with other sick people or like people that had like.
So they would get weeded out.
Yeah.
Right.
Like right now, let's say somebody might not be the most like physically fit person, but because you love that person, you're drawn to them and you have that connection. You establish a relationship.
But you wouldn't feel that. It would just be like, who's the strongest one? Whose genes do I want to pass down to my kids?
She makes more money and she cooks better. Going with her.
You're right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I think it will still be art too in like a society like that. I'm thinking of a society basically as I'm not saying like, okay, if everybody was like Donald Trump or something like that, everybody just didn't care or anything like that, okay? But I feel it'll still be art because it depends on the individual though. If the individual had that selfish need to actually still do art for themselves, like it could be for their own enjoyment or something like that, then
But you wouldn't feel enjoyment.
Didn't you? Yeah.
If you don't care about other people. If you don't care about other people. I'm saying if you don't care about other people.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't care about other people. Yeah.
Not just no feelings in general.
I'm not talking about just no feelings in general. So if you don't care about other people, yes.
Right.
I'll say that way.
Because you kind of got yourself in a corner.
No, I was like, no,
this Donald Trump society. Sounds like
because Donald Trump has feelings.
Right.
Donald Trump still has feelings. He just
does.
He just maybe doesn't care about.
Does he have feelings?
Yes, he does. Yeah, yes.
He definitely has some strong feelings.
No, he definitely does.
I've
He
has feelings of jealousy. He has feelings.
I'm pretty sure he exhibits feelings towards his family as well. Like within his family unit, like he feels for his children and his wife. I don't know to what extent, but I mean I don't know to what extent for anyone, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if his mentality towards his wife was like I'm just picking the best looking one to natural selection. I'm picking the best looking one to
I
pass
don't
on the
know.
genes.
You would have to go to DC and talk to him about that.
That's funny.
It might not be far fetched, to be honest with you.
But when you were saying like the absence, you don't believe there'd be an absence of art. I think art would serve a very different function. We would just minimalize all of it to be just structural.
Yeah.
So, and if there were anything like, for example, when photography came out, portraits went away, and so it was the only reason that you would take to paint would just be for the quality of having that. But now we have photographs. It's more logical to take a picture just because you need to remember something. And then so if you
why would we paint anymore?
Right, and you look further back in art, for example, like when they were first doing the, like if you look at a painting of Ferdinand Magellan or Queen Ferdinand and Elizabeth, like one of those ancient portraits, and it was just very straight to the point. That's what they would look like, and they were kind of like made exaggerated to be more flattering of them. But the paintings they weren't fictional. It wasn't like a cartoon. You didn't see like the cubist stuff. It wasn't anything.
But that was still
Picasso
emotional though, because why else would they want to have a painting or a picture of them other than to show people how they looked like when they were at their best? You know what I mean? That's like a prideful thing, and that's like a showing off type of thing, or trying to pass on memories to the later generations. If you didn't have feelings, I feel like you wouldn't care about that.
I was thinking it was just to be the only purpose the art would serve then would be to commemorate things, like to save in a time capsule.
But
That's
I feel
emotional.
like if like
Is it?
I think so.
and I feel like if art was like not emotional based, like without the feeling, I feel like everything would just be driven off of technology. Like you said, like architectural, I think was the word you used. I feel like if art didn't, like, there wouldn't be any expressionists, like there wouldn't be like any abstract, like
I feel like buildings would just look however they need to look for them to be structural.
Yeah, like what it has to serve a purpose.
Right.
Like it doesn't need.
Yeah, I think there would be nothing
like the
without
apartments
a
in
purpose.
Japan, how they're like super small.
Right. I think everything would just be completely just for a purpose. I don't think there would be anything for enjoyment. If you didn't have feelings, you wouldn't be able to feel to enjoy.
You wouldn't care if things were in a certain color because you wouldn't need that feeling of like needing.
It would just be in whatever color it came in.
Yeah.
Like if you had a wall that was made out of plaster and the plaster was white, they'd be like, shit, I guess the wall's white. Like
It's
you
cool.
wouldn't right.
Or like whatever color served like the best purpose based on where you're at. So like if
temperature retention.
Yeah. So if you're in a like hot area like the Sahara Desert or something like that, you might just build things only in like white because like.
Well, then you blind everyone.
Well, that's true. Well, damn it, Brian.
And that would be the downfall of society.
Everybody goes blind.
Yeah. But I see what you're saying. It would be more advantageous to have a lighter color in a condition like that. So it's based off logic. That's what they would pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like you don't wear corduroy in the summertime.
Right.
Or black. If we want to use the color example.
I'm wearing all black.
Well,
Well, it's a tank
just
top.
use two examples that both happened during the summertime. So
You have corduroy in the summer?
You're not wearing corduroy?
I'm not wearing corduroys right now, but I'm just saying that I have done in summer.
But listen, he doesn't dress for the weather. He dresses for style.
I wore like a meat coat in the summertime just because it felt like the vibe during that day. But in a
I thought you was Cameron.
I was just feeling myself. I was like, yo, like this is gonna be the only jacket out. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna walk in. It's gonna be like the fly as a jacket out because ain't nobody else got a jacket.
You might have to go in on a stretcher because you're gonna pass out.
Did you not? Yeah, you gonna be. Yeah, they're gonna have to medevac you out.
No, see,
this is really fly.
This is what you gotta do. So if you want to wear a thick jacket when it's hot outside, you go outside when it's early. So that way, like, let's say it's gonna be like 100 degrees outside today, and I gotta do everything I need to do in the morning. So that way, by the time it hits that hundo,
right. You were so.
But
goofy.
if it's going to be 100 degrees,
you're not gonna
usually
wear
by 8 a.m. it's
right.
about 90.
Right.
So
you're not gonna wear a make.
You're
You're
very fashion minded, so I could actually see you doing something like that. So I'm fashion conscious in the sense of I used to not wear a jacket if it didn't match my outfit and it was cold. I would just wear the shirt and whatever. But then the older I got, I still try to match my jackets and make sure I'm covered like that. But I'll go ahead and try to at least put something on. But what you're saying is like, regardless of the temperature, you're gonna, like if you want to wear a tank top in the wintertime and it's fresh, you'll do it.
I'll put the tank top with something else because it's like wintertime, you know, like.
So you care when it's cold.
He's not gonna go out in the cold.
I care more about when it's cold
but
outside than when it's hot
summertime,
outside.
he'll go out with a jacket on. Like I remember early summer, like. What's the early summer months like? March maybe?
Yeah,
March?
when it's before it gets like
April?
hot.
So pre-summer.
Yeah, like the end of spring, like going into summer. Like he was still trying to pull like
jackets every day.
Jackets, yeah. I'd be like, you know, it's gonna be like
it's
70 degrees outside today, 80
but
degrees outside today. You don't need a jacket.
Were you trying to lose weight or something?
Nah. See, the thing is, it's like
it matches my outfit.
Like like people don't get it. Like when people say like they really fuck with fashion, like I really like this is like my shit.
Like I would get a heat stroke for fashion.
You can take a picture of your fit before you leave the house and just wear normal clothes.
That ain't even it. I don't even do it for the clout. Like I just do it for myself. Like I like making like art and music, and like I like looking at fashion for myself. Like it's just like a self-enjoyment thing. Like, you know, it just makes me feel good. So like I like putting together a dope outfit, not to impress other people, just because like I just think it looks dope. Like, you know, to me it's just like cool, you know what I mean? So, and like I appreciate other people's like dope outfits and dope shoes. I'll see somebody wear some dope shoes, I appreciate that. I just think it looks dope.
But can't you do that and still be dressed right for the
Temperature
weather?
appropriate?
Yeah, it's still be
I
dressed
could.
for the
Yeah,
weather.
you could.
You could just wait for that in the winter time.
But like I said, like early summer, I'll be having those withdrawals. Like I'm not gonna be wearing this jacket again for another couple months. Like,
So
let
he
me
really
get
tries
it
to
in.
stretch it out.
Yeah, let me stretch it out a little
But
bit.
like he's not wearing jackets like at this temperature. It's like 100 degrees outside.
Yeah, it gotta at least be like 80 tops for me to wear a jacket.
What'd you say?
80 tops.
80
for me to
tops.
wear a
Yeah, I
jacket.
feel like that's
So
accurate.
as a you design clothes as well, so you can answer too. So as fashionably minded people, how would that affect your fashion sense if you were void of emotion?
Oh, it's probably dressed like an astronaut or something like that.
Yeah, you probably literally just wear whatever fits the weather. You know, you probably have like white and black clothes. You know, and just wear whatever.
Like a factory work
Whatever
uniform, a
suits-
smock with some pockets.
Oh, you never seen the
Probably
movies
whatever's most like
Most
what-
available.
no, what's the
It's
word?
functional.
Functional. Yeah, whatever's
Yeah.
the most functional.
like that movie, those futuristic movies like Divergent and stuff like that.
Oh, like
where
the Hunger
everybody-
Games and stuff. Like when they
Everybody
all
has
just
the
wear.
uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just wear whatever's the most like makes the most sense for wherever they're at or whatever they're doing.
For your
job, or- yeah.
Like all the people who are in the like whatever like coal district have like an outfit that serves a function because it's your job. Like if you're like a hunter or if you're like, you know, like a military person or whatever, like you have like a specific outfit, like a uniform, because this is like it serves a purpose. Like everything would have a function. So like and like a world where it was void of emotion, like you being like somebody who's like always doing coding, you would probably have like the same, like all your outfits would be like the same outfits
You
as
probably
like
have like
every
a
other
pocket
coder.
for your pen, a
Zuckerberg.
pocket for your charger.
More like
Yeah, doesn't he wear like the same thing every day?
Zuckerberg, he just wears the same shirt to eliminate the amount of time it takes to pick clothes up.
Like on
That's
some
so
Steve
scary.
Jobs.
Yeah,
No,
Steve Jobs
when
did too,
I
yeah.
first heard that, like that freaked me out like so bad because that's like, I don't know. I feel like
Sociopathic behavior.
I feel like as an artist, like you have like such an urge to like express yourself.
The thing is, he doesn't care because he already has the money.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's still so weird to me.
That's the thing about rich people. They don't care about showing
Like
off
Warren
any other
Buffett?
art. Like they just gonna wear like. Oh,
But
yeah.
they do.
They
A
can
lot
do
of rich
that.
people do care about that.
Like black rich people.
Well,
That's how you rock.
There's a careful distinction. Chris Rock was talking about this. He said, we have rich black people, but we don't have wealthy. He said LeBron is rich, but the guy who signs LeBron's paycheck is wealthy. The wealthy people don't care about that. And oftentimes you look at these companies, you like even the ones where you have a nice corporate job, you're wearing a suit, you're the president of the company. But the people who invest, the people who actually back in that organization, they show up their house in sweats.
Hey,
They're
Oprah
not-
wealthy. Oprah big wealthy, and she be dripping.
You know, when
She
I
be
was in
dripping.
St. Thomas, I saw Oprah's house. Like when we
For
were, we were
Well,
ziplining.
the thing is, Oprah, of course, like okay, we were talking about the wealthy people who actually
Yeah.
born into actual wealth.
Well, I
Oprah
wasn't even
born
saying
in-
that. I was looking at
Oh, okay.
like the numbers. How many
That's what I
Oprahs
was
do we?
thinking.
How many Oprahs do I guess people black people have? How many wealth?
But the thing,
people
Oprah
wealth?
was the same.
You're
wasn't-
talking
didn't
about like
grow-
Rockefellers. and,
Yeah,
like,
Oprah didn't
things
grow
like
up
that.
wealthy though. That's what I'm saying. Oprah didn't grow. She made her wealth.
I understand that,
Oprah didn't grow up
but
wealthy.
I'm just
That's
looking
why.
at the standard of being considered wealthy compared to the rest of people who
Old
don't have that
money,
wealth.
right?
Yeah.
Old money and wealthy
Like
is
I'm
different.
not looking at the age of the money. I'm just saying who has it. I'm saying like comparatively,
Yeah.
there's less Oprahs than there are people of other ethnicities.
But he was saying like Oprah is like glamorized too, right? He was like
Yeah.
Oprah does the same thing, but I don't know exactly what you mean. But
I mean, like when you say like a lot like rich people, you know, like are like more prone to be flashy, and like the like wealthy people aren't because like they have
Yeah.
like their money's going to be
Oh, 'cause
old
they-
money.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't have the short term money. Their money's
Yeah.
going to be old money.
But the
like,
people who are
Oprah's
rich,
like,
they didn't have it all the time.
but Oprah's like gonna be wealthy. Like she's wealthy right now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you're not like Like you don't just get like $1 billion and like like blow it all. Like that's going to become old money. She's going to pass that down. You know what I mean? Right. She's going to invest. She's going to keep on building.
Does she
on
have
that.
children?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But she'll pass it to whoever.
To someone, I'm sure, or give it to charity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
It'll
if
be
she's
in her
looking for a child,
foundation,
like I'm willing to be adopted.
High key.
It wasn't a joke.
You know her house that I saw is right in front of a nudist beach.
Show where he got Oprah pregnant.
No, I didn't know her house was in front of a nudist beach.
Yeah, Oprah's house in St. Thomas is like
That's
right in front of this nudist beach.
He wants to get adopted. Yo, so Josh said if you get adopted by Oprah, he can be your stepdad.
Nah, that's not happening. I'm calling you Josh. I'm calling you Ayo nigga with the hat. Yo, pass me the remote.
I'm sure he did without that money. I'm sure he would say that.
You would have somebody paid to do that anyway.
Yeah, but you can pay somebody to do that. Right?
Yeah, that would be a waste of money. Like, hey yo, pass. Good looks.
That's their whole job. That's their career.
Just the remote. Kind of like, so like, I was looking at jobs when I was back home, at summer jobs. I used to work at McDonald's before I came to school. Then even I worked at the ODU McDonald's as well. But
that sounds shitty.
Huh?
That sounds extra shitty. I feel like a regular McDonald's would be shitty, but I feel like
the one near the campus.
I feel like any place near a campus, food wise, is gonna be extra shitty.
High turnover rate.
You know the Chick-fil-A at ODU, they don't do none of that. My pleasure shit, none of that. They say you're welcome.
Like they don't give a fuck.
Nah, what's the woman's name?
Except the old lady that works there. The one old lady that works there, she's really nice. Yeah, she does the my pleasure.
It's like I wish you would make me say on pleasure. I see you next period. Like go ahead, pull that shit. I know a dorm you say pull that shit.
Like, you have to come here. You can't eat it well.
But so when I was looking at summer jobs back when I was in high school, or when I was coming home that first summer from college, I was looking at Hardee's, and Hardee's had that one job that was very specific. It was a biscuit maker.
What?
That was all you did was make biscuits, and that's exactly what you were saying.
I'll be so sad if all I had to do was make biscuits.
Yeah, that sounds like
at Hardee's, like not even like make biscuits, but they're probably like take the biscuits out the tube and put them in the oven. Like that's probably what the biscuit maker at Hardee's does.
Like that's like a tea maker at Hardee's. Like all your only job is to like pour tea mix into
right. Like
you
don't
was
make
that also
the
job
tea,
description?
Right?
I just made that up, but it would be funny if it was a job description, like a tea maker at Hardee's. That would be funny.
Probably.
But in a colony mindset, like we just established, like, you converted me. I believe that we would be in like that ant mentality,
like assembly line type thing.
Yeah, I think so everybody would have their function, right?
And you would be you would be content. Like I wouldn't say happy because that's an emotion, but you would be perfectly emotionally stable. You would not desire to change your condition. Satisfied.
I think you would just be nothing.
Like, I think that's a condition.
I think it would just be you just do what you do.
I feel like everything we do would be to maximize time because that's the only thing that we have. We're going to be like extreme.
But I don't think that you would be like. I don't even think that it would be content. I think you would just that would just be your function. Like it would just be kind of like it is what it is.
Content, I feel, is the lack of wanting more.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like you're just where you're at. You're existing in a space.
You're just fine.
Exactly. So I don't see it as necessarily an emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So satisfied is like more leaning towards happy though, which is an emotion. So
yeah, I think so too. I think satisfied and content are like
it's a fine
slightly
line
different.
To walk. But at this point, we're kind of like debating linguistics and semantics. And so we could say, no, it's not this, it's that. And we could go like all day with synonyms and not get anywhere.
Sure. But yeah, is there anything else you guys want to talk about as far as this topic? Cool. So we got an album of the week?
Yeah, album of the week for me is probably All Summer Long by B.O. Smooth. Yeah.
Cool. Well, you heard it here. But I want to thank our special guest, Roman Tanner. Yeah. Of course, come back anytime. Had a blast, of course, talking to you guys today.
Make sure you check his music out. Make sure you check her artwork out.
Also, don't you have a art show coming out?
Yes, I have an art show July 26th in Norfolk, and then I have another one August 3rd in Norfolk as well.
Cool.
Yo, when this video airs, the show will be passed.
I know, but she said another one though.
Okay, cool. Because like July 26th,
I know it's gonna be a day after. I know it's gonna be a day after, but when she said another one, so it was good.
He's like, I got you, man. Don't. He was like, don't.
But yeah, but thank you guys. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Welcome to the show. Go and take a seat. Let's talk about the world while taking a sip of tea. A bunch of brothers come together. That's something we love to see. The company can't get no better. We come from running the streets, but we here now. The vibes all good. We survived. We gon' gon' try and show the world inside the minds of some visionary brothers. We only got each other, we don't support each other. Ain't nobody gonna love us. We can talk about the violence, the silence, the Mayans, the stake that the minds in the science, defiance, living and dying and laughing and crying, pure bliss and heartache and quitting and trying. That's real from the heart, truth in the heart. So come up in the future, we just gotta play our part. Can we handle that? Let them tear us apart. Infusion breakdown show, go and talk about your thought.